got turned back. Then, with the presidential election of 1876, Reconstruction was dealt a death blow. The election saw Rutherford B. Hayes, the Republican candidate, square off against Samuel J. Tilden, the Democratic nominee. This was one of the most controversial presidential elections in American history. The close election placed the nation on edge. There were even talks of a new civil war. To avoid a crisis, the informal agreement, now called the Compromise of 1877, granted Hayes the presidency. In return, this was a huge point. Hayes promised to remove the last federal soldiers from the South. This almost guaranteed that the all-white governments would reclaim power in the South. When Rutherford B. Hayes agreed to remove federal soldiers, he was simply putting an end to an already dying effort. But dying or dead, what had gone wrong? Your job is to read the documents and follow the answering questions, north or south. Who was more responsible for Reconstruction? Question 1. Why was 1876 an important year for the United States?
Because the
Thank you,
Declaration of
thank you.
Independence and American
Good. It was the 100-year anniversary. The U.S. had lasted 100 years and they survived the Civil War. So 100-year anniversary. And then who were the two that ran for presidency in 1876? What were their political parties? Rutherford
Rutherford
B. and what's his name?
and Samuel.
J. Tilden.
Samuel J. Tilden.
So we officially get, after the Civil War, all right, we know Johnson was president because Lincoln was assassinated. We officially get two political parties that we know today as Republican and Democratic. Obviously, morals and ideas have changed, right? Like the Democratic Party didn't want slavery. Okay, but Rutherford B. Hayes was Republican. Samuel J. Tyndall was Democrat. As irony is something you don't expect, something that doesn't seem to fit. What was the irony of history that occurred in 1876? So irony is like, oh wow. Like going to a water park during a drought is irony. Ironic. What is the ironic step? Question 3.
Wait.
Presidential election.
What was the irony of history that occurred in 1876? We do have an election.
What happened in 1826?
Yeah, what happened in 1876? We know it's 100 years since the U.S. was created.
The election?
There was an election, but something else.
Oh, the main country, the Black American.
The first step, what's the first step of Reconstruction? Right here. As first step in Reconstruction, the U.S. Congress removed the Confederate state governments and put the South under the rule of the U.S. Army. So what is actually happening in 1876? Confederate U.S. is gone. They're connecting the states back. So another word for connecting is
Reconstruction.
unionize, unify, all right? So 100 years later, they are reunifying the United States. Remember, it's in the name. United
That's the answer
States.
for number 3.
That is the answer for number 3, yes. The United States is getting reunified. Isn't that ironic that we're celebrating the 100th year of the United States, but on the 100th year, we are reunifying it, we're putting it back together, we are reconstructing it, rebuilding it, whatever you want to call it.
Reunified.
Sure. Yeah. Rebuild, reconstruct, put together. That's the ironic part. You're celebrating the 100 years of the United States, but on the 100th year, you are putting it back together because the Civil War happened. And then what was the compromise of 1877? Who got what? So looking at 1877, what was it? To avoid a crisis, an informal agreement now called the Compromise of 1877 did something. Second to last paragraph towards the end. Granted Hayes the presidency, so gave the Republicans the presidency. So what was the compromise? Gave Hayes the presidency. Who got what? Hayes got the presidency, and the South got something. What did the South get? Or lack of something, I should say. In return, this was a huge point. Hayes promised to remove what?
Power. Reclaim power.
Hayes was president. The South got the federal soldiers out. Remember, at the beginning of the Reconstruction, the US said, you guys are coming back to us, but we're gonna have soldiers down there to help you follow the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. When Hayes became president, he said, I'll take those soldiers out. So is anyone forcing the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment in the South? No, so that's where it says, this almost guaranteed that all white governments would be back.
So, yes, sir. Mr. John, please, sir.
What ran? Second one, who ran for president? Who just gave the answer? The guy that won it.
Samuel?
What's up, man?
No, the other guy. Well, two people, yeah. Who ran for president?
It was Rutherford and then
Rutherford Hayes and Samuel
Samuel
Tilden. Yes. All right. So it seems like right away the racist answer, okay, is the South clearly killed Reconstruction. But Hayes is a Republican coming from where? The North, and he pulled the soldiers out. So we're gonna look at these next four documents, all right, to try to answer who really did kill it, all right? Guess what, if it's an opinion, could there be someone else out there in the class with a different answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so it's your opinion. All right, you have a letter about the KKK, you have a political cartoon about the KKK for the first one, all right? You have a testimony, all right, he's a free man testifying, don't forget to read sources and notes. And then you have a cartoon that's clearly showing polling in the Reconstruction South. Does this look threatening, maybe? What is he pointing at this head? Gun. Yeah. All right. You have an article and a political cartoon here. The first African-American in the Senate, I believe. Yeah, first called senators and representatives, okay? And then a short reading. After you have this prompt, you have a
How are you live streaming? That's crazy. Tell that. What's the name coming back? Can I go back?
I am working on letting Alex go back, and if I don't hear back, then yes.
I gotta hear this. I don't know if this is a song
Hello.
that Tyler dropped, I think.
Bernie, can we get an sense?
Yes.
Because
You're doing this work.
it broke though. It broke. It broke. It broke. I don't know. No.
Can I play music? Or can I play music?
I would
Or,
prefer not.
no, not like out loud, but like headphones? No.
But stop sharing with him.
No. I'm not sharing with him.
Yeah, he's watching you. Your camera's on.
Oh. Wait. Mason. That's not cool.
My phone.
I know, you're literally FaceTiming.
On FaceTime, man. He's on FaceTime now.